Come on. Oh. Okay, now. All right. We'll just wait for everybody to come in. But please come in because we sure got a lot of talking to do. I've invited True Royal to come on the panel, and we're going to do the live stream together. Shalom to everybody out there. Shalom. All right. Just want to look down the list and say hello. Hello, Mother Nature. Hello, Crystal Clear, True Hebrew, Ilana Israel, T. Emery, the Lady of Soul, 502, Blessed with Melanin and Dimples. Hey, so am I. Hi, True Royal. I'm just going down the list to say hi. I was going to reach out to you anyway, because I had planned on doing a live stream over the weekend, and I was going to see if you wanted to join me. But since this verdict came, we might as well just come together and do our talking now. You know, this is a travesty. You know, you got to think about the age of Bill Cosby, the fact that he's blind. This man ain't going to survive prison. He's going to die. Mm-hmm. This is a death sentence for him.
And that's what they want. That's their nature. They'll build you up, and then it's off with your head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me finish saying hello. Deja, the African goddess, hello. And of course, welcome our queen, the True Royal family, Mr. Notorious, hello. Debo 08, hello. Richard Copeland, Mike Berry, hey. Candy Lee, Patrice 7227, Lynn Ward, CK Nelson, my girl, Celano Logan, my girl, Shelly W, hello queen, CJ, the king of all things possible, Nisha C, hello, Myosha R, shalom, welcome. Fit Fierce over 50, The Black Woman's Guide, you go girl. King Stan, hello. Wayward, that's my brother in spirit. Wayward 242, somebody that I have been communicating with off and on for 2 years online. Rachel, hello Rachel from the UK. Israel Ark of Yah, Mr. Maurice, welcome. Stephanie Watkins, Stevens, Dakari, Deo, Latasha, hi, Otera, Ancon 228, Joyce B, Wisdom in Action, Regina Davis, King Hebrew, Ras, hello, Richard Copeland, P. Williams, Trevor Stevens, Stephanie Watkins, Armia Benton, Dave G, Video 99. Hi, Video 99, welcome. Aisha, Underrated Darkness, Bless 14, Real, Awakened Woman, Eternal Wisdom, welcome. Forza, P91, Antonio Anderson, and I think I got everybody. And if I didn't, Shalom, you know I love you. All right, sister, you had a lot of good things to say before I kind of disrupted you on your live stream.
It's okay.
But I just, oh man, I know we both got a lot to say about this. And, you know, and not only that, I'm really concerned about his wife, Camille. You know how long those two have been together?
Yeah, and they just lost another child.
Lost their daughter, exactly.
Yeah, these people is, what word I would use? Vicious.
Mm-hmm.
They want to taste blood.
Yeah.
And I was watching CNN the other night, and they was saying they had some expert lawyers up, and they said the whole trial was illegal. Everything that how they approached it, everything that they did, and even Nicole's view, because you know she's been going up there.
Yes.
And she said you could tell that the judge was in bed with the prosecutor, and then also the judge's wife is, I think, a part of that some type of women's group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only that, I knew when they said they were going to do the trial over again, I knew they were going to try to do anything to get him. See, they couldn't get him the first time around, so they used this opportunity. It's just like OJ, you know, during the first trial, they couldn't nail him. So, you know, they had to come up with another diversion to get him back in court and then throw him in jail. And I feel they've done the same thing to Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
I always expect the worst when I'm dealing with white folks. I don't get myself built up. And the thing that we have to remember, as much as possible, do not put your faith in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
As much as possible. And
well, see, you know, they love stuff like this, True Royal.
Oh yes, I know. This
is down their alley. Anytime they're in a position to judge us, oh, they're loving this whole thing.
Yeah, they're gleeful about it.
And they will overlook all of the inconsistencies from these women in their testimonies.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like I said, it could be elephant shit in a room and they'll act like it ain't there. I didn't see them do it. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't work with them. I know all of us didn't work with them.
Yeah.
I didn't work with them, but I will sue their ass. The last job I worked on, I sued their ass. They blessed me very well. They are so easy to sue. So easy. When I got out of the industry, they said they don't ever want to see a Santana in the industry again. Ever. Ever. Because my husband, he's known for he can't bend. He fought through his whole career, 40 years. 40 years as an iron worker, dealing with these folks and stuff. And yes, I am concerned about Bill's health. I'm concerned about his wife. How can she deal with this? They just lost their child. I know he's not in the best of health and stuff, and they're going to be gleeful about it.
Yeah. And the thing is, I just don't see a blind elderly man faring well in prison. It is, like I said, if they put him in there, I don't believe Bill Cosby will be alive by the end of this year.
Let me read that. Somebody put what? 10 years and 25,000 each. See, that's what Gloria Allred wanted to do anyway.
Right.
This is what she wanted. She literally said this. Get a table, a picnic table, basically, and just stack some money up on it, and then people could pinch off what they want.
Well, she's an ambulance chaser.
Yes, she is.
And one thing I hate about her, she has made a career out of going after Black men. She has literally made her whole legal career out of going after any Black man that she could, especially if it's one that's a celebrity or athlete and they got a lot of money.
And you know what? I on 2 occasions, she went after 2 different Black men, and the story was a total lie. The first one was It was some rapper,
Uh-huh.
and some little girl. He was inquiring about her doing some singing, but he had the people that work for him contact her, and this girl was trying to make it like he was trying to contact him, and and it just turned out that, he said, "Here's my cell phone, check." And then, they can check the billing and all of that stuff. He
Right.
had never called that girl ever. He dealt with a very professional. And then with the thing with Usher, had that overweight girl there talking about she didn't got herpes from Usher.
Yes, I remember that.
That was so embarrassing. I was like, man, do this woman make sure this stuff is right? So,
Probably don't care. They
well, they
probably
don't
don't
care.
care. And the thing is, how do you go after a person 40 and 50 years later after a rape? And look, black men don't have that kind of power in this country where
No,
they get away with raping a white woman. So the fact that they held all this time tells me, this is definitely a setup.
yeah, and then they all come out at once.
Yes.
All at once.
Every last one.
Yes, yeah.
It makes no sense. The whole thing from start to finish makes no sense. And then the fact that so many of them got up there and there were inconsistencies in their testimony.
Did you get to listen to any of Nicole's Views videos?
Yes, I've been keeping up with her video.
Yeah, because I like the way she does those videos, and then the feel that she gets in the courtroom and stuff.
Mhm.
And
that part of Philly, I'm very familiar with. I grew up in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I know exactly where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to get down in that location at the right time. If you are off the mark even a little, you are going to be stuck in traffic. There is no way around it. You are stuck.
Well, I think she's down there today. I'm worried about her too.
Yeah.
She has put a lot into this.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Nobody covered it like she did. I mean, a lot of people were putting videos out, but I think she went above and beyond. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this is just another lynching of a black man is what we're watching. And
a high-tech lynching. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Another one. Mm-hmm.
And we got to really open our eyes and look at all of the recent events. And by the way, Queen, you did an excellent video on the the 5 women at the golf club. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I grew up in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is like the Alabama of the North.
Wow.
That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the white people there got a racism that is even different from the ones here in New Jersey. It's bad, especially when you get in.
Do you remember that case? Do you remember that case? I think it's almost been 2 years now, where the black women up here in California, they went to wine country, Napa, and you can take a train ride up in Napa and just go to the different vineyards and everything. Yes. And they threw them women off the train.
Yeah, I remember that. I saw that video.
Mm-hmm, that happened up here, and where they messed up at is one of them little snot-nosed ass white kids got on Facebook and had a whole bunch to say, and when they realized, we done screwed up, they took it down. Well, somebody had already screenshot it, and that's what saved them, because they said them women was belligerent, they was going off and all of that and stuff.
They always got to make us sound like we're doing something wrong, and when you watch the videos, we're really the ones that look civilized in the whole thing, and they're the ones that are acting like a damn animal.
Well, it's like with the situation at Starbucks. That chief of police is a outright liar. He had a whole story about what the dialogue that these guys had with the cops, and it was talking about how much money they made. I didn't hear nobody else say that but him.
It didn't happen. Come
on.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen at all.
Mm-hmm. But cooning is a terrible thing in Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
It's a terrible. Girl, I can tell you some stories. You got the white people that have a racism that's equivalent to people in the South, and you got black people that are probably the biggest coons in the North in Pennsylvania.
I wouldn't make it down there.
Okay.
I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it.
I said, we moved to New Jersey. I said, you know what? I think if I would have stayed in Pennsylvania, I would have had some problems. I would have had some damn issues.
You know what they used to do? And it happened to Maya Angelou. In fact, my mother-in-law went to high school with Maya Angelou up here in San Francisco, California. And some black folks that couldn't bend, they would get them a one-way Greyhound ticket up north as far as possible, because they said they're gonna kill you up here, because these white folks don't, some of us, we just don't have bend in our DNA. And that's what happened to Maya Angelou when she was a teenager. They had to send her back to San Francisco because she was jumping on white folks down there, whipping their ass down south and stuff. And my mother even told me that we had a much older cousin. He would go out, him and his buddies, and go hunt them and whip their ass and stuff. So yeah, I used to hear those stories.
When we first moved to New Jersey, you're probably gonna think this is funny. We had a white neighbor, and he was racist, and he had 2 children, and the kids were racist. So once we were kind of friendly with them, and then when we saw how racist they were, we fell out. And this is how my brother and I got them back. His son was playing soccer, kicking a ball around on the lawn. And every time the ball came rolling over into our yard, me and my brother, we beat him up. I
love it. That is hilarious.
Property, stay off of our property. Every time the ball came on the lawn, we went out there and beat his ass.
I didn't know they was gonna get it.
That's how we got them back.
I don't blame you. Wow.
But y'all, I'm telling you, white America right now is celebrating this. I'm telling you, they are.
Not for long.
Yeah.
They got a rude awakening coming. Like I said, remember this, my royal family. They're going to, remember, I keep saying this over and over. They're going to show like they're winning battles, but the overall war. See, we'll get so fixated and focused on that. And yeah, and you feel some kind of way. But then what I do is I'll step back and look at the bigger picture again. And I don't care what anybody say. They have lost the war. It was just a matter of time before everything folds. So yeah, we're going to see little battles looking like they then won something. But see, it took the air out of it. After a while, they might be gleeful for a minute. Then what?
Yeah. Yeah. That is very true. Very true. So I guess it's nothing for us to do but to just follow this and see what happens. But, I'm hearing some reports of them trying to put him in jail right away. And, I hope his lawyers can at least keep him out through an appeal, where he doesn't have to go in there. Because I know a man that age is not going to do well in jail.
No, not at all.
It's not going to hold up well at all.
But I got to do some more research on it. Are they expecting jail time and money too?
Yes.
Wow.
They want jail and money.
Or they something else.
That's what they want. And, and I'm not surprised. They waited for this man to get all up in age and then came after him. I'm not surprised.
No, throughout history, what I've been noticing for a long, long time, way before I even got on YouTube, the way to tear down a man, and it doesn't matter if he's a politician or just a well-known, it don't matter what his occupation is, they always follow their sex life. They always follow it and see what they're doing. And some of these men ain't caught on yet, I notice. They'll follow that and they'll say, okay, he got some weaknesses here and there. This is how we're going to tear him down.
Yeah.
Do it every
Yeah.
time.
But you know, America is like that. America is full of illusions. You know, they make you believe things that are not real. And just this Bill Cosby thing alone is showing a real message here. And the thing is, just all of the events, because I wanted to talk to you about other things too.
Okay.
All of the events that have occurred over these last few weeks. We had Starbucks, we had LA Fitness. There was another one that just popped up today that Guru did of an American Airlines incident that a Black woman died.
Wow.
And it's just so many things happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what I was telling my son, what this is doing is revealing how we have never been treated right in business. You got the cops killing us and abusing us, and you can see all of the abuse that goes on in these white-owned businesses against the Black clientele.
I want to say something before you go any further.
Mm-hmm.
I discussed with my husband what you had said when you did it on Black Junction, that these murders that we are seeing or executions are sanctioned by the government. That was real deep. I thought about that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you're absolutely right, because they just complacent. Because like this shooting that happened up here near me, Stephon Clark, and they asked, Trump and them about it. It's like, oh, that, that's a local issue and stuff. Yes, it's sanctioned.
Yeah.
They just stand idly by and play like they don't see it. But yeah, they gleeful about it.
The politicians at the top sees what's going on, but you got to look at all the decades this police brutality has been going on, and they have not pushed one piece of legislation to stop it. That should tell you right there. The government is very much behind what these cops do to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's no doubt about it. It's been too many decades of this bullshit. And
nothing changed.
Yeah, it's never been corrected, and they're not even showing signs of correcting.
They have no intentions of changing anything. And while this is what's so funny to me, and I tell a lot of people to go to your channel, it was laughable when you were showing that video where they were testing people that were on welfare and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, some people didn't have no drugs in them, and while they are so focused on us, they always focused on us. They're gonna be so focused on us when they decide to focus on their immediate situation. Mm-hmm. It ain't gonna be nothing left.
Exactly.
Because you're too busy worried about what we're doing.
Now, what do you think about these latest cop killings that have gone on?
With these white guys?
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 of them.
Yes.
I think that they are going to increase.
Mm-hmm.
Because of karma. I really think that. I truly believe in karma. And then I thought about what somebody, I don't know who said it, because I listened to so many videos, that when white people get killed, then it's more of a spotlight on it, because that guy that was doing the bombing,
mm-hmm.
First, it was 2 black guys that got killed. They just said a little something about it. But then when it happened to some white folks, now the word I've been using lately is hypervia. Now let's put a lot of energy around it. And they got their own inner issues. They're not taking care of their immediate situation. They always focused on us.
Right.
They always. And they want to play like and act like that they don't have an opiate problem. They want to play like and act like these, and I'm gonna use the word, these bitches is barren. They can't have no babies.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look at the leadership. It's a reflection of the leadership.
Exactly.
That is their leader.
Yeah. No. You are telling the truth. There is a video, staying on this subject, because there is something I think it's on my other channel, but that's okay. I can get it from here. I want you to see this video. It is going to blow your mind when you see this.
Okay.
Right, let me see if I can pull this up, and then I'll share the screen. Oh. There is a Black Panther. Here it is. I'm gonna share this. I want all of you to see this. I want you to see this, and I want you to see the outrage of the police union and listen to what they say about this whole thing. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. Hey, Lisa, wait,
yes.
Wait just a second. Wait just a second.
Okay.
Lisa, before you play that,
uh-huh.
Can you still see your other screen? Because I found out some of these videos that you show, they got it set up where if they don't want you to show their video, it'll knock out your live stream.
No, I have showed RT before.
Okay.
And it's always been okay. All right.
Herman Bell, notorious for being a cop killer and a member of the Black Liberation Army, will soon become a free man after spending nearly 50 years behind bars for shooting 2 policemen dead back in 1971. Now, the New York Parole Board's decision even had the support of a son of one of the slain officers.
It seems that individuals with no knowledge of Mr. Bell or the circumstances that led me to support his release many years ago have taken it upon themselves to drum up hate and vengeance.
The Parole Board of New York might have shown sympathy and a willingness to forgive, but not the Policemen's Union, the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association.
They're guilty then, and they're guilty now, and no cop killer should ever walk the face of the earth.
Now, siding with the police is NYC Mayor Bill de Blasio, who called for the decision to be reversed and for Bell to stay behind bars. The parole board received over 367,000 letters urging them not to free Herman Bell, despite his record as a model prisoner. Well, not quite. There are not actually that many individual messages. The association's website gave complainants the option of automatically sending a letter for each of the 62 cop killers listed on the site. That meant that fewer than 6,000 objections to Bell's release generated over 367,000 messages, completely distorting the level of outcry. In fact, according to one poll, 86% of New Yorkers support the parole board's decision. We decided to talk with some former cops about the association's ethics.
I can't comprehend a man who openly admitted to killing 3 cops. I can't comprehend how that person would be allowed to walk the streets. I could picture every cop out there being absolutely outraged to the point of acting on their emotion, especially in today's climate where they are so abused. Your government has turned their back on the police officers. I can absolutely picture not one cop out there not wanting 600,000 plus letters being sent to the parole board and requesting this man's parole be denied.
It's manipulation. That's quite obvious. You know, I mean, Herman Bell incident, very tragic incident. He actually killed 3 people, but parole is what it is. You know, we have murderers, rapists, arsonists. People are getting paroled every single day, and they're hell-bent on, if you kill a cop, they want you to just rot in jail until jail is supposed to reform people.
Now, cops like to talk about the perilous situations they put themselves in and the public that they serve in order to do that. But this incident will leave some in New York questioning their integrity. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
All right, sis.
I seen it.
Please
wow.
Tell me, that's a former Black Panther that went to jail in 1971. He killed 3 people. 2 of the 3 that he killed were cops. And he's been in jail since 1971. He's up for parole. Even one of the cops that was killed, his son came forward and said, let him out. He's been in there long enough. Now, here's my point that I'm trying to bring up to you, sis. And I just want to hear how you feel. Now, how long have we been asking for justice?
Oh, wow.
Forever, right?
Yeah.
And we can't get 1 ounce of justice. They at least got justice from putting this man in jail for 50 years. 50 years, and they're still bitching. They got a lot of nerve, in my opinion, because we can't even get a cop to even be in some serious trouble behind our killings. But they at least got some justice. 50 years is a lot. Well, and these motherfuckers are still bitching.
Let me tell you something. This hits very close to home. My stepfather is the oldest political prisoner in California. His name is Romaine Chip Fitzgerald. He's been in jail since 1968. And they said that he killed one cop and one security guard. And eventually, back in the early 80s, the other cop admitted that he shot his own partner by accident. And as far as the security guard was concerned, somebody else killed the security guard because they had shot my stepfather in the head. He walked around with a bullet in his head for 3 days, hidden out in LA. There was no way he could go kill somebody else. And he was just in an apartment, passed out, basically, in and out of consciousness. And so we are still, to this day, trying to get him out of jail. And even, like I said, the cop, I think he's still alive, has even said, hey, enough is enough. All y'all have to do, because he's done a number of interviews on Democracy Now!, Romaine Chip Fitzgerald. In fact, what I'll do a video and everything. That's how close it is. Because I was chuckling the other day, because, you know, somebody always saying something negative, and they was saying your family was no way your family was in the Panthers. And I'm like, no, my family is in the Panthers. I have some family members that have left the country. They cannot come back. And I have family members that are still locked up. And Geronimo Pratt is my godfather. He has passed on. Tupac's godfather as well. And Geronimo Pratt, they killed him with chemicals.
Okay.
That's what they killed him with. It still affects my family to this day. So I know where you're coming from, as long as this brother's been in jail. And isn't that the guy that was with Patty Hearst?
Which one?
The one that you just showed, that footage that you just showed. Because his name sounds so familiar to me.
You know, I don't know. Now that I will have to look up. But he's getting paroled. And look at how many of these cops are fighting against it. But yet we say we want justice. We can't get justice. When
Patty Hearst, excuse me, he was. I'm looking at him. Yes.
Yeah. So he is getting out very shortly. He's probably going to be out within weeks. And they got the nerve to bitch and complain, talking about they need to stay in jail. They killed a cop. You know, the problem is they make these cops like they are something precious, you know, or they're
every single day we do these videos, and we don't put out every story. Every single day, some cop is in trouble about something disgusting. I mean, we can make one channel or a bunch of channels just devoted to cops fuckery. They doing all kind of stuff. They have no credibility.
No.
Guys,
no. But it just made my skin crawl listening to that Lynch guy, and he got the perfect last name, Lynch, because that's all they do to black folks up there in New York is public lynchings.
Well, you know, it's like the OJ verdict. They gonna take that real personal, and I'm thinking about all the hangings where they take pictures, all the executions, and knowing they dead wrong. And then one black man win, and they ready to change the entire law across the United States if they could. Because they even tried up here in California after the verdict with OJ. He had to come to Sacramento, which is our state capital, and he had to deal with some issues with his children. They got mad at the judge because she let him have his kids back. And they even did the same thing with Barry Bonds. When Barry Bonds was going through a divorce, they tried to change the law. They couldn't do that. Then they said he was using steroids. Do you know how much the state of California spent to try to convict Barry Bonds.
Oh, I know.
They spent over $60 million, and all they could get him on was perjury. But this is the part that pissed him off. Barry Bonds has a childhood friend, happened to be a white guy. They kept locking him up, and he would not flip. That pissed them white people off so bad. That white boy would not flip. I said, that's an unusual white guy to me.
Yeah, really. That is very rare.
It got to the point it was illegal. I think they locked him up like 4 times, and it was like, okay, now that's treading into human rights now. You know, he's not going to say anything and stuff. But it just what gets me is how their rage is so fake in the stuff that they do.
That is my point about this guy getting out. Now, he's a former Black Panther. Now, he murdered 2 cops, killed another person, spent 50 years in jail. And then when you saw how all of them were reacting, and I was like, every last one of them are fake.
They are.
Every last one of them are fake. But you see how they do a killer if the killer's Black? Oh, I don't want them getting out of jail. They don't need to get it. Listen how they talk. And we can't even get their asses in jail for a murder of one of us at all.
And then the games that they play.
Somebody that a person served their prison sentence and they're still outraged. And we can't even get one of them in jail.
Not one. Got a nerve. You know what? The shooting that they had in Florida. Okay, so that happened on a Friday. 2 cops got killed. Okay. The person that killed him is named John Herbert Highnote.
Yes, I saw his name, but did you?
And I looked, and I did a video, and they play too many games out here. What they did was, I thought was his picture, so I clicked on the picture, and when I clicked on the picture, it went to another shooting in Florida, in Bell, Florida, where another cop got shot and killed. So one got killed on a Friday, one got killed on a Saturday. So I'm still looking for this guy. So finally, I find something on him. They give his birthday, they give his name and age and stuff. And then when they say what his race is, they said his race was United States of America.
We know what that means.
I finally found, they won't show no mugshot, and I finally found out that it was actually a white guy, and I found an article, and the reason why they said it was not showing a mugshot because it was a very young picture of him. They only have old stuff. I said, these people are lying.
Yeah. They don't care what age the Black guy is. They'll show the mugshot and be glad to show it.
Yeah, he could be in a wheelchair. On life support.
Yeah. You know, the cop killings are going to increase because you know what, True Royal, I really truly believe this is divine justice. And the fact that it's at the hands of their own people, that is one thing they can't come at us about.
No. And that guy had a nerve to say, with the first shooting with the 2 guys that got ambushed at the restaurant, was saying how the cops are being demonized. No, y'all, that's how y'all deal with the public. Everything is overkill. They escalate. They don't know how to deflate anything.
You know, something's wrong, True Royal, when killing is always the first option. Something is wrong. You know, these people, just the whole system just needs to be completely gutted.
Yeah, it needs to. Yeah,
there's no way shooting should always be the first damn option.
And then the first thing they want to holler is, "I fear for my life." And what really made me disgusted this weekend was this week, the guy plows down people for over a mile in a car.
Yes,
in a van.
Yeah.
He's playing like he got a gun. Now, to me, it looked like he had a gun. I seen something black in his hand. And he's making gestures like he gonna shoot the cop. They didn't even shoot him.
Nope.
Look at this. My goodness.
You know, it just proves that when it comes down to them, they do real police work. When it comes down to us, they just simply don't care.
Yeah, they don't have
care how they handle us. They don't care.
It's like the young lady that was at the Waffle House, you could see the way she was dressed, that she was trying to protect herself. And then after you humiliate her, and now her breast and popped out, then you're gonna ask her friend to come and pull up her dress and all this kind of stuff. Nah. I don't care about what else you have to say. Go get a female cop. There's a different way y'all could have handled that.
Right.
No, you get your emotions caught up in it. You said you was gonna break the woman's arm and stuff, and then what they'll fall back on is, well, they need some more training. Well, it's a lot of unprofessional cops then.
Yeah, it's not a training issue. You know, that's why you're not seeing any of this stuff change, because, and they know it already before they open their mouth and talk about all this training and reform. They know that shit ain't gonna work. That is not the problem. It's not the problem.
Did you see the video that I did, the exclusive video that I did with the sister that used to work for Starbucks?
Yes.
And this woman is a known racist, always calling the police on black folks. And then the I don't know, the executive something of Starbucks gonna say to the black guy, say to Gail, well, she's a victim too. You know, she's hurting or something like that. He wants these black guys to go sit and talk with this white woman who could have possibly got them killed.
Yes.
And they know that she has a track record for doing what she do. Because I didn't work it long enough to know there's some bad supervisors, bad superintendents and stuff, and they'll have a track record for it, and they'll promote them.
Well, that's why I believe that CEO protected her the way that he did. He knew what her track record was when he was trying to protect her after that bullshit that happened with the two black guys. Because he was really protecting her.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
And I'm glad that sister who they did an exclusive interview with her was like, it's much deeper than that and stuff. I wanted to say one more thing before I forget. That case over in South Africa where that woman Vicky Mungberg, who used the K word, like using the N word, she went to court last week to appeal it, right? And she gonna have to do her time. Do you know when they were sending her transport back to the prison, she went off on the guards, said that they was peasants. They was low quality people. She went in.
She's psychotic. Psychotic. But you know what? Let them get a dose of it. And I hope she goes off on the judge and everybody so they can get a dose of what she does.
This woman, they said that the guards called the courthouse and said they wanted to press more charges on her. And then somebody said, well, try to rehabilitate her. You cannot rehabilitate a racist. That's their nature.
Yeah, it's ingrained. You're not going to, it's like taking a lion and rehabilitating it not to roar. You just can't, or give the lion an orange and tell it can't go after an antelope anymore. You know, you can't, you just can't do those kind of things. That is deep internally within them.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, because a lot of us are still out there having to go work with these white folks and stuff. I was saying that because we're going to study the art of war all year, and you can use a lot of those tactics at work. And one thing that I can say, if anybody's still working, the first time, and I mean it to my soul, the first time a white person do something to you, deal with it. Don't hope, don't wish, don't pray, because trust and believe they're going to do it again.
Yes, they
are. I know what I'm talking about. I didn't work with them, and I got to the point, I'm serious. People think I'm making this up. I got so tired of white folks, I started jumping on them. I said, I started whipping ass. I couldn't take it no more. And they said I was crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I just want to work and come home to my family. But you keep messing with me, I have a cutoff point. And construction is the only job I know you can fight and not get fired. So with that. But yeah, I got like that. I was throwing stuff and everything. I said, these people ridiculous.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I'm not saying to do that. because what I did was they was expecting me to cuss them out. They was expecting me to fight them. And then when I see that I could sue them, I got real quiet and I just started writing down everything. And it was before my dad told me to write down date, time, and location. Date, time, and location. White people are so easy to sue. And you sealed the deal for me, Lisa, when you did a video and you said how important the racism is for them to spew it. They willing to lose their life. They willing to lose their job. It's that important to them. It's that important to them. Wow. Wow.
You got to understand, you got a very low self-esteem people, and they can't really dominate you any other way than with racism. Technically, they can't really dominate us in anything.
No, they can't.
They really can't. So their only attack on us is psychological. I would say a big bulk of it is psychological warfare. And the thing is, most of our people have not overcome.
You know what I've been doing since Winnie Mandela passed? I've been doing a lot of research on apartheid. I refreshed it because I knew about it because I had a really good history teacher in junior high because she had went to a lot of these different countries. So I'm revisiting it.
Yeah.
And it's something that these white folks said when they were doing the behind scenes negotiations with Mandela. What they realized was this one white guy was saying it was like a pot of water boiling and you can't keep the top on it. It was a sea of black folks and they knew they could not contain it no more.
Right.
They knew they couldn't, and then on top of that, they had sanctions put against them. People stopped trading. I think they couldn't even fly out of their own country for a while.
Right.
Well, so they had to hit. It was a combination of different things that happened. But the reason why I'm studying apartheid because I'm looking at people that literally only have the clothes on their back, and I want to see what's the difference between us and them.
Really, not a big difference. Apartheid and Jim Crow practice over here are practically the same.
And the thing that got me was Winnie Mandela got to the point where she would go in the stores where they were not allowed. They got afraid of her. She would wear the ANC colors. She didn't give a damn no more.
Yeah.
See, when you get to that point, the white man think you crazy.
See, I've already surpassed that point. I was like that even out in the workforce. And you know what the thing was? When I was still out there, I used to watch them manipulate the other black people in the company, and they would never really fight back. Me, when I got in the office and the door closed, I went off on them.
Me too.
And I let them know you're not going to run your head games on me because that shit don't work on me. I don't, I don't figure that out in childhood. Y'all full of shit. But there are many that I used to watch how easy they would manipulate them. And, I really couldn't get through to them because they were scared of those.
They were scared to death. I know they were scared to death.
Keep their jobs. And so they wouldn't fight back.
Yeah. And you would see people. I mean, it would be sad because I would try to help some people. And I had to learn real quick. The majority of our folks are scared to death of white folks. And that's the part that messed my head up because I was raised one way, but I didn't know about those type of black people because my dad was a force, my mother was a force, and I'm like, wait a minute, afraid? I didn't understand that. And they would be like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. I'm like, I'm saying something.
Right.
They don't violate me.
Right.
Not me. No way.
The thing is, at one point they wanted me to head the union, and here was the problem. Whenever they had a grievance, and this was most of the black people in the office, whenever they had a grievance, they came straight to me. They had everything to say. They wanted to, you say this to them. And then when I would call a meeting so that we could just air everything out, the black people would go silent.
Yep, they sure would.
One in the room, True Royal, talking to the white folks. I'd be the only one in there running my mouth, and they just all go silent. I got sick of that mess.
Yeah, that's my father told me that happened to him before.
And I told him, I said, no, I will not head this union. I will not head this union and be the only one fighting.
My father said the same thing happened to him. And my dad worked for the government. He was a pipe fitter. And he said there was this one black guy. He said this guy was blacker than the ace of spades and could fill up a door frame. And they was, had a little private meeting, a couple of the guys, about what was going on at work. And then when they finally went and encountered them white folks, he said, this dude started sweating. Just sweating. He said, just standing in the door, you would be frightened looking at him. But he got around them and be scared to death. And you just say what you got to say.
Yeah. And white folks are like animals. So they can sniff fear on black folks. And they know that's the kind of black person they can manipulate. And they do. But that's what happened to me. They were like, no, we're going to vote you president of the union. They really wanted me to head the union. But I got tired of that mess. That happened several times. Oh, they had everything to say when they were in front of me. But as soon as we got behind closed doors with the white supervisors and managers and stuff, they went silent.
Oh, like a cheap
what kind of damn bullshit is this?
Yeah, you got all that stuff to say, and that's a shame. See, if we didn't see many of vicious battles on YouTube, on social media alone. If we went in on each other, if we took that same energy and directed on the beasts, we would be further ahead. Because we are treacherous with each other.
Yes,
and
see, True Royal, over the years, people will say, you know what, you make a good black leader. I would never take it for the simple fact that my experience for a long time has always been, when I get in front of the white folks, I'm the only one fighting. And everybody else is not there fighting alongside me. That has always been my experience. And
that's a lot of stress.
It's frustrating.
And if you're gonna take all of that on, people gonna reap the benefits of it, and you didn't stuck your neck out and stuff.
Right. But you know what the funny part, True Royal? They left my ass alone. But the ones that wouldn't fight, they used to pick their asses apart. But they didn't come hard at me because they were afraid of me, because I would always open my mouth to them. But the ones that wouldn't do it, oh man, they would rake them over the coals.
Yeah, I would see it. I would see it all the time. I'm just not gonna come home feeling stressed. I'm gonna leave the stress right there on the job.
Yeah.
Don't bring your job home. Don't bring your job home. Them white folks gonna do what they gonna do.
Exactly. That's how I feel too. It is no point in you fucking up your household over them white folks. That's the way I see it.
My husband was like that. He told me, because he had a 40-year career, and his first wife, they got married. They were teenagers, and he said them white folks was messing with him, and he would be all screaming and hollering at his wife at home. And then he said he thought about that. He said, "Oh, these people gonna be like that all the time." And he said he always left the job, left all his problems on the job. And he said he wouldn't bring none of that home. He wouldn't mention the job or anything like that. And my dad taught me that, because one thing that I have learned dealing with white people, you have to follow through. You have to take it to the fifth power with them.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. And they will show you their fears. The very fears that they have, that they're going to be projecting on you. You give it back to them.
And what our people don't realize, a lot of times they're testing you. And if you don't take the bait, that blows their mind, because you got to understand, they already got a preset notion about black people. They already, you're all criminals, you're all this, you're all that. So when they come across one that's got some smarts, that scares the hell out of them.
No, they can't deal with it. They can't. They're
not taught to deal with it, and that's they're not taught to deal with it. They are taught that they can always manipulate us and get away with it. But when they come across that black person that they can't do that to, it scares them to their core. It really does.
It does. It
It
really does.
scares them to their core because they know they were never taught how to deal with a Black person like that. And you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really can. You really can.
But what do you think about the Kanye West thing? You know, he's cheerleading for Trump.
Kanye done lost his mind.
Yeah, I just did a video on him. He was seen out in public with his "Make America Great Again" hat on.
Oh my God!
And Kanye said Trump was his brother.
Are you serious?
Oh no! I did a video on it. I did it on just before, actually before you put your live stream up. I had just posted that video. But yeah, Kanye said,
what they giving him? What they giving that boy?
He said he loves Trump and he considers Trump his brother.
Oh my gosh.
And I just wanted to know what you thought about that.
I'm lost for words. They got to be giving him something. See, who talks about them Kardashians? Oh, Mr. Superboy.
Uh-huh.
They said they witches.
They are. I agree with that. They are.
Oh my goodness. He lost his mind.
Yeah,
oh,
he's walking around with his "Make America Great Again" hat on. And he's actually getting into fights on Twitter with Black people coming to him and saying, "Kanye, what the hell happened to you?"
Yeah, he up under something.
It's
wow.
like, what happened to you? You weren't like this before. But he is now cheerleading big for Trump. And Trump just went out there recently and just kind of cheered Kanye on. Like, yeah, good, Kanye. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
He got to be on something. They got him. They got his tail. They got him. They got his head. Wow.
They do. But Kanye is out of his mind. I'm like, Trump? And he was like, well, he's trying to say that Black people have never got to know Trump. I said, yes, we did.
Why people keep trying to convince us that Trump ain't racist?
I don't know.
To his core. He is what he is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he came out defending that Candace Owens. Kanye done lost his whole goddamn mind. I don't think his mother would be happy if she sees how he turned out.
No, I don't
believe she did. I don't believe she would be.
She was way more grounded than that. No.
He was. And and not only that, I don't think his mother would have gone for this Kardashian stuff either. I don't think she would have been happy about that shit.
Yeah, his mother was a doctor. What was her? I think she had a PhD in
I think in education
or something like. Yeah, okay,
yeah. His mother was a really smart woman. Yeah. She was his business manager, and she somewhat kept his butt in line.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like once she passed, Kanye ain't been the same.
He just a shell of himself.
Mm-hmm. And then you see him walking around with them blue contacts on, his hair dyed blonde. I'm like, is this man insane? Do y'all see those pictures of Kanye?
I ain't seen those yet. I gotta see.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's got blue contacts in, he got his hair dyed blonde. I'm like, Kanye, get the hell out of here.
Let me see Kanye's picture.
Yeah, go check it out.
Laptop.
Lost his damn mind.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know who's managing him, but I tell you what, the Kardashians are definitely not a good influence on him.
I see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde.
Yes.
He got on these crazy looking contacts.
Yes.
With himself.
He looked like something from Halloween.
That's a wicked place to be.
Somebody said Kanye is in that sunken place. I said, Kanye is under that sunken place.
He looked possessed.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. You're never going to see the old Kanye again. He's gone.
Hang with a Kardashian. That's what happened.
I think his mother, what was his mom's name? Donda, I think.
Let me see. Let me look that up too.
Donda West.
Yeah, I think her name was his mother. Let me see here. Let me see here. Pull this up. Oh, you want to act like that? Oh, here it is. His mother. I wonder what happened to his father.
I don't think he's been in his life for a long time, but I know his mother raised Kanye as a single mom. Now, she lost her life from having breast augmentation. Remember, she was trying to get her breast reduced and she died during the surgery. Yeah.
Her name is
Donda West.
Donda West, and she was a professor of English at Clark Atlanta University.
Right. I knew she had her PhD in education. So yeah, so that sounds about right.
And his father's name is Ray West. Ray West. He's a former Black Panther. He was a photographer for the Black Panthers.
Okay. Cool.
But I know he doesn't. I know he's an only child like me. That always stood out to me, and he is lost.
Yes, he is. He really is. And Kanye is 40 years old. And who thought, when he reached 40, he would be like this?
He can't even, you know what I noticed about him?
What?
He can't even hold a conversation. They had him on some talk show. It was like he was having a hard time articulating his words. It was like, what are you talking about? He couldn't even get it out. Like, what they didn't do to this boy?
Yeah.
Kardashians.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they will jack a man up. That is something else.
I know Cosby has an excellent lawyer, Mesereau, because Mesereau is a damn good lawyer, and he's not gonna just let this roll over him like that. He gonna fight for Cosby.
Yeah,
he was the one that stepped in for Michael Jackson, because Garagos was the attorney for Michael Jackson, but he was also the attorney for Scott Peterson. That killing that happened up here in the Bay Area, that dude that killed his
wife, right? She was pregnant, right?
Yeah, Tom Mesereau was saying, no. He needs an attorney that's going to be attentive to him. That's it, and that is all. And so he went to Randy Jackson, because Randy Jackson and the family deals with all the legal matters, and I think what he did was did a lot of consulting and stuff. But we'll see how it goes. I know one thing: I can't watch the news because I can't stand these white folks being gleeful.
Yeah. I gave up watching the news years ago. Now, if I want my information, I just go online for it. I don't want to hear them babbling and giving their, opinion, because their opinions are not going to be like Black folks.
And it's going to have panel after panel after
watching the news. Yeah, exactly. That's the big reason why I had to stop watching it, because, their opinions are just not like ours. And I just can't relate to that bullshit they be saying sometimes.
Me either. And because I know I would run and tell my husband, oh, this going on, that going on, because he's still old school. He watched the news. He was like, well, they didn't say that on TV. Where you get that from? I said, YouTube on such and such channel, on this channel. He said, well, damn. He said, I need to get on the computer. I said, yeah, we give the news. We give the news.
Right. Exactly, right?
Yeah, we give the true news and stuff.
We give more real news than they ever will.
Yeah, and put some flavor on it. Because one of my subscribers, and I don't know the girl's name, but she says she's subscribed to a lot of us, and she says she has cross-checked many of us, and she said all of us, we're accurate. We make sure we do our research right and everything. I welcome people to cross check me because I might miss something, you know.
Yeah.
But I really try to, you know, give the best and tell the truth. And what I do is I say, well, wherever the story it lands. Because sometimes I don't like where it lands, but at least you got the truth. At least you got the truth.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody is on here doing live streams about Cosby. Damn. I see Phil from the Advice Show got a live stream going too.
Ooh, let me see what's going on.
It is a lot of people out here. This is buzzing now. This place is buzzing.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of people got live streams. You're right about that. I didn't even look over there. Let me see what's going on over here. Cynthia G got one. Rasan DeLay got one.
Yeah. I mean, this place is blowing up right now. I see everybody is out here running about this verdict.
The elder said Becky got Bill. Oh my goodness.
I love him. I love him.
Me too. I love him too. He got such a pure heart. Oh, LVZ is live streaming.
Oh, he is? Okay. I gotta jump on one of these live streams, but I know the place is buzzing like crazy now.
Oh yeah, it didn't change the energy. That's what it did. Because I was out. I heard the verdict in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and the thing is, True Royal, we got to look deeper than what's going on with everything that's happened, including the women on the golf course and all of the other store incidents. We got to get our stuff together. I'm gonna go back to what I always say.
Look with everything with your spiritual eyes. Use your spiritual ears. We got to continue to stay God focused. Because I'm going to the kingdom. I'm going. That's my attitude. I'm going. Despite whatever happens in this world, I'm going to the kingdom. And stuff. And I like I said, I'm so happy that I'm learning about who I am because I was searching. People think because you got these channels, you be having it all together. I'm like, I'm out here searching. And I'm like, what?
Because you know what, True Royal, these last few weeks should show us we are in a very hostile environment.
Yeah, we're under siege.
Since they took over this earth is very anti-Black. That's what they did. They took this planet and made it anti-Black.
Yeah, and they really are speaking volumes because I always say pray, meditate, and listen to the universe. And the universe is saying they don't want you in their businesses. They don't want you around them. And the beautiful part is it's going to bring us back together.
Yes, it will. And you know, that's in Bible prophecy that everybody will go back to their own nation. That means it doesn't mean that you're going to physically go to the land. It means that you're going to come back and connect with your own people. And all of the hostility that we have seen towards us, you know, it's going to wake a lot of people up. A lot of people are waking up. And then you have a lot of our people that are awake, but they still fear disconnecting from this white man.
They done did everything to us.
Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
You know what gets me is
we have to realize it's not going to take everybody to get us out of this thing. It's just going to take a few good people to do this. Yeah.
The thing that gets me is because I'm only concerned about us, the ones that are lost or let's say afraid. Don't put your energy in a human being.
Amen.
I'm flawed. Don't put your energy in me like that. I'll stumble and fall. Stay focused on our Father, the Most High. You know, that's where we have to put our energy at because we'll be trying to put it in a human being and then they'll stumble and fall. And, they done messed up. You know, you're making them a martyr. They're human beings.
Right.
They're not going to be able to deliver everything that you think they can deliver. I can't make you no promises.
Right. Exactly. You know, speaking of that, over like the last week, I had a few people come and try to bring the gender war to my channel. Now, I've been really working hard to get those kind of comments out because I don't want that here.
Yeah.
And a few of them were guys that came over to complain about Cynthia G. And I got rid of it. And this is why. I got rid of it because this is why. If you got an issue with her, then you need to address that with Cynthia G. Why are you coming over here to address that? A whole different channel, you know, and see, that's how a lot of infighting starts. Somebody will bring something to you and then try to get you all worked up about it. You know, and I'm not taking the bait.
No, I have said even on my channel when they were investigating the digital forensic company, you had emailed me and you gave me some good advice. You said focus just on your content. And it works. It works to take advice from people. It really does. And I've gotten better and better, not worried about this going on over here. And people be telling me stuff and I won't make a video about it or none. It's none of my damn business.
No, I won't either.
It's none of my business. I'm not going to make videos bashing black men. I'm not going to make videos bashing black women. I'm not going to do that type of stuff like that.
I had somebody come, a woman. How come you never talk about the beta males? Well, you know, that's not my subject matter. And number two, quite frankly, I'm getting tired of hearing about beta males. Yes, there's got to be more damn things to talk about in this world than beta males.
We got two, like you said, too many things pertinent, very serious. And it's like I live in earthquake country. If it rattles strong enough, will those issues that you are having, will that be serious? No.
Right.
Utter survival and stuff. And it's not, I'm a kind of person that's why I don't like doing real long live streams either too. I like to get what I can get and possibly use something from it, because some people, they'll get on these platforms and it gets personal.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you got some issues with your daddy. You got some issues with your mother. And you bring it on here.
Every video is down on black people, down on black people. Here's my issue with that. We didn't get this in this damn place on our own. Okay, we didn't get in this condition by ourselves. This took years, centuries of being conditioned to be in the state that we're in. So when you come down on us and say, well, you don't have to be like that right now, you're right. But then in another instance, you're wrong. You know, number one, we are not really free. And that is one of the biggest hurdles that we must get over to get our damn freedom from these devils.
Yeah, we're still in bondage.
We're still in bondage. We haven't even conquered that.
And it's mental shackles.
Our fight is not gender. Our fight is not feminism. Our fight ain't none of that damn stuff. Our fight is all of this racist oppression in this system that has been designed to work against us. That is our only biggest fight.
Yeah, because we might have differences about us, but we still got one thing in common: the enemy.
That's right. And not only that, even the coon, although they don't admit it, but they're going through racism too. There's no way they're not being touched by it.
You know what? Do you know Diamond and Silk almost hollered racism 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
They was mad about what happened on Facebook.
Yes.
And the one that does the most talking, she almost slipped up and said it. I said, see, it was on the tip of your tongue. You almost said it.
They know that it's out there. They know it's out there. I done seen 2 videos of Jesse Lee Peterson talking about it's because I'm black. I said, see, no matter how much y'all put on a front, you know racism is real.
Yes, they sitting up there.
It's a hustle, sis. It's a hustle.
Oh, that dude is. Oh, do you know he got a son?
Yes, he had a son out of wedlock when he was 19. Oh, he talks about single moms. You see that heart? You see the hypocrisy?
Who would lay down with that man? That man looked like a turtle.
Yes, and he never married the woman that had his son. He was 19 years old when he became a father, a single father.
That had to be an accident. Let me stop. My imagination is going.
He looked like a wet turd to me. He looked like a wet turd.
Oh, Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had heard it through the grapevine that somebody had threw that up in his face and it pissed him off too.
Yeah.
Hypocritical.
Yeah. And in fact, I think they interviewed him and he ended up hanging up. Because they were saying, well, how do you talk about single moms and you had a son out of wedlock? And then eventually he just hung up.
See, what I'll do is I'll listen to different channels, and what'll turn me off real quick is you start talking about somebody's hair, somebody's complexion.
That's the thing, Queen. You know what they do? They come to me talking about Cynthia G, and then they'll say, what about all that hair and makeup? And I was like, you know what? I ain't spending my money on what she puts on her face and what she puts on her head. I'm not concerned about that. You know, but they want me to give them a reaction. And you know what? We got bigger fish to fry. Okay. I don't care what people put on. We got bigger fish to fry in this fight.
Yeah, it's not productive. And I don't like, and that's something that I don't like. It's a useless conversation. It's something personal, you know, hair and makeup and all of that stuff is personal. We don't even have to show our faces up here.
Right. And I just look at it this way, you know, she is a grown woman and can do whatever she wants with her face and her head and her body. That doesn't concern me. What concerns me is all this racism, white supremacist system that we are still stuck under. That's what's concerning me. Now, if you want to bring that, then let's bring it. Let's talk. But all of the other stuff, I'm not going to make no video talking about these people and what they do and what they say. You know, I don't agree with everything no one says. But I'm not going to go into a campaign of bashing them. And it's almost like when these people come and make these comments, I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, they looking for. Yeah, they like the drama, around it and stuff like that. That's why they try to get the egg people on with different stuff. Because I know somebody had told me, a couple of weeks ago, somebody made a video about you. Did you see it? I said it ain't none of my business.
Right.
I go over there and look. It's none of my business. If you want to make I can't stop you from making a video on whoever you make a video on. I'm gonna just keep focusing on what I need to do. And so see, the thing is, we just need to continue to do what we need to do. First, we need to take care of our immediate situation. I keep saying that over and over because this can get overwhelming. As long as your individual households have what you need and your family, your individual family is on code.
Right.
And stuff. And I always say this constantly. If we do it on a high percentage level, it will bleed out into the community. It will. Oh, we're going to get on code because it's going to be more stuff that's going to continue to happen in these last days.
Right.
And this is one of them right here. I'm going to say it one more time. The white man going to throw up in our face like we have won. That was just a battle. We have won the war.
Exactly.
So we're going to always see these little battles. That's when you get refocused and stuff like that. Because what they're looking for is, it's like a high for them. They'll be gleeful for a moment, but trust and believe they're going to have some stuff to deal with. Because in fact, they have stuff that they have to deal with now.
Yes.
So those problems ain't went away. Even though what has happened to Bill Cosby is terrible and all of that, that does not change their immediate situation. So you can take your energy off of your immediate situation, white folks, and you can, for 3 or 4 days, get your hypervia and your thrills off of what's going on with Bill Cosby. But at the end of the day, y'all birth rate is low. Y'all got an opiate problem. You're dropping dead left and right. Over in Asia and parts of the European country, they running around with AIDS and don't even know they got it. It's a lot of stuff we ain't even reported.
But see, the more that's what you brought up a good point, and that's even prophesized. The more they do to us, the bigger the plagues will be on them. And this is exactly what we're seeing. And if you notice, we're seeing back-to-back cops get taken out. And my prediction, Queen, it's going to get so bad, they're going to just start quitting out of fear of being killed.
from their own,
that job.
See, that white boy would take a chance on you. See the one that got killed, the other one that got killed in Florida, he went to go serve an arrest warrant. And that white boy killed that dude.
Yeah.
They'll take a chance like that. How they
had 11 charges on him. He had a rap sheet with 111 charges. You see how they let their own stay free out here?
Wow.
You see that shit? And one thing I want to let everybody know, you know how we go and watch movies, these war movies? What do they always show us? A bunch of white soldiers, right? Always a bunch of white soldiers in every movie that you see. Do you know that most Green Berets are black men?
No, I didn't know that. But I'm not surprised.
But every time we see these movies about Vietnam and all kinds of other things that involve the military, they always cast a bunch of white guys in those roles. And these black men that are Green Berets are highly decorated. And they just pushed them in the background. You never hear anything about them.
Yeah, my uncle, he was in Vietnam, and my mother and them, they come from Arkansas, and he said, you know, they was on their way to Vietnam, and white boys was talking all type of crap. And he said, as soon as they got to Vietnam, the first thing you smell is death. And he said, them white boys dummied up quick. Or they stay real nice. Some of them literally, he said they would just piss on themselves because they knew they was in a real war. It's a total different thing. And in fact, Geronimo Pratt was a Green Beret.
Yeah. Most black men, and a lot of people don't know this, are Green Berets. The Green Berets, the vast majority of them are black men. But whenever they show them on TV, they'll show you a group of white guys. They do that on purpose, y'all. And they push these black men that are highly decorated in the background and hardly show them until you start doing a little research and start talking to black people in the military. That's how you find out. If you talk to more black people that have served, you'll easily find this stuff out. And they got all kinds of specialized units that you haven't even heard about that are all black male. Okay. You know why? Because the black man has more speed and agility on his feet.
Yeah.
And he can carry out his duties and keep the speed up where a white male just can't do that.
I know. I was listening over there to Cap. He put up a video last week, a live stream, and he was, you know, telling us how to survive. You know, he been in a war for real. And one thing that stood out to me, he said, if somebody's shooting at you, run in a zigzag. I never even thought of things like that. I was like, wow. But, you know, he talked about a lot of things that we can really use. A lot of us got a lot of skills.
Yeah. In fact, I had an uncle that used to tell me, he said, if you ever have to go into the woods, like it's a day you got to go in the woods, he said, always try to wear something that makes you camouflage and blend in with everything. You'll be harder to see.
Yeah.
If somebody was in the woods and they were trying to, you'll just blend right in with everything.
And we need to take heed to that kind of stuff, you know, because a lot of these things, you can get at thrift stores. There's a lot of military jackets. Just get them washed up. Even a lot of tools and stuff that I've talked about, you can get them from the flea market. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg for this stuff.
No, you don't.
You can just get a little bit at a time,
Exactly.
You have everything that you need. You know, the thing that never left my mind was Katrina. It affected me so bad. I'm sitting there screaming at the TV because I knew what to do. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, our folks don't even know how to survive.
No. And that's a shame because that's a big, huge chunk of our population that don't have a clue.
And the thing I'm gonna always keep saying, number one thing becomes an issue is sanitation. You can't use your toilets. You might as well put a brick on top of it. And you just want to keep everything clean around you, very, very clean. And I would recommend that the family, everyone, you can get them inexpensive at the Payless shoe store. Get a work boot with a steel shank. Don't ever get a work boot with a steel toe, ever, because if you get your toe crushed in there, they're gonna have to cut your foot.
Yeah.
So you rather have a broke foot than a cut foot.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm seeing is, and it wouldn't hurt, what we need to do is we need to start coming together and it don't have to be big groups, and find out what skills we have, and we can teach each other different things. I re-listen to your videos about gardening. In fact, I call it Earth because I can't pronounce the other name. My second mom, she's been taking that Earth, and she's 81. She still works a full-time job. She said she had to stop taking it. Her hair and nails was growing so crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff.
You know, diatomaceous earth.
Yes, because I get all her supplements.
Yeah, and Christopher Clipper, you bring a good point. Please get your passports. Take some time and get your passport.
I was looking at that this morning too.
Please get your passport. I just got mine renewed back in February. My 10 years ran out on my other one. So I got my passport. Please get it. I don't care what anybody's saying. Make sure you get your passport.
And you can get a dual citizenship in Ghana.
You can get it in Ghana. You can get it in Benin. There's, I think, like 3 different African countries that are offering us dual citizenship.
Oh, that's okay.
I know Benin is one of them. Ghana's one. And I'm thinking about Cameroon. Cameroon might be another one. But it's all of the countries where, you know, we were kidnapped in. Those same countries are inviting us back.
Yeah, we've been looking at property over in different areas of Africa for the last month. There's a couple of YouTube channels, believe it or not, and they got some nice property.
Yes, they do. But see, you know what they do? They show you, again, it's just mind games. They try to show you where the extreme poor people are, and they're living in shacks and those 10 houses and stuff. That's what they like to show you. But there are some nice homes in Africa. There's some really nice homes, and they're really not that expensive. I was looking even at Cameroon. You can get a nice 3-bedroom home in Cameroon for $25,000.
Yep, that's true. You can get a baby. I seen a baby mansion for 45.
$100,000 can get you a large mansion in Nigeria. $100,000. If you're willing to pay that, you can get a mansion that you see just like in Beverly Hills, and you can get that in Nigeria.
Yeah, and when I was doing my research,
find this stuff, you can get information on this.
A lot of the communities that I looked at, they were gated. They had 24-hour security.
Yes.
I was shocked. Some of them had free childcare, different things I didn't even expect.
And they know Africa's a good place. Do you know some white supremacists live in Africa, got homes built and live in Africa? But remember, they're white supremacists. They didn't choose to go to Europe, did they? Okay. They didn't go to Europe. They live in Africa.
People don't know how nasty Europe is. They never cleaned up Europe. They never cleaned up Europe.
No, that's true. I lived in Germany.
It's surface clean.
Let me tell you, you're right. I lived in Germany. And when we went through a couple of countries, and Italy was one of the countries. Italy still got remnants all over the ground from World War II. They never cleaned it up.
How long did you stay over there?
I was over there from 86 to about 89.
Oh, okay.
And when you went through Italy, you went miles and miles and miles, and it was just nothing but debris on both sides of the road. Just all this debris spread all over the land. It's been there since World War II. They never cleaned it up. All they did was move their population to an area that was not badly hit, and everybody went to live there. But no one cleaned up all that debris from World War II.
Yeah, they still having outbreaks, but they're quiet about it. But I'll be reading about it. They still having outbreaks of bubonic plague.
Yes.
They're still having it.
Yep, they sure are. And like you said, they got HIV, and there's a lot of hepatitis going on in the white community too. A lot of hepatitis.
Well, you know what? I had to get off of that once Winnie Mandela passed, because I was studying the welfare system over in the European countries. They call it on the dole and are on benefits. And they did a whole revamp of their benefits too. And you wouldn't believe how many homeless white people is out in Europe. I mean, living on the street, they don't give a damn. I watched a series where it was just a bunch of junkies just shooting up. Yeah. That's all they live for, is just to shoot up in Europe. They just live on the streets of Europe. That's all they just live like that. And see, the sun don't come out that much, so they was cold pretty much year round. And I just wanted to see how sorry they tails was over there. I have to revisit that later, because after Winnie Mandela passed, that changed my energy. But you know, I watched that whole live stream as sleepy as I was.
I watched the whole thing too.
And what got me was, I thought I was mishearing something. Show you the power of God. At the very, very end of the funeral, where the military was going to walk her out, you hear cacao. And I said, what is that? And it just started pouring. And I said, oh my goodness.
You want to hear something funny? My grandmother died my grandma on my mom's side died in 2001. Every single weather pattern happened during her funeral. When we went to the church, it was raining. When we were going to the church for her funeral, it was raining. When we left out of the church, the sun came out, it got cloudy again, and then it started snowing. That was like, damn, wow. Everything on my grandma's funeral.
That's a lot.
It was crazy. So when we got out to the cemetery, the snow was coming down.
That's a trip.
I said every kind of weather pattern happened.
You know what was a trip to me? I see a lot where we are similar when we see our brothers and sisters across the pond, but I see where we're different in certain ways. And you know, at a funeral, we keep it tight-lipped. You know, we're gonna have the funeral, people gonna speak, and that's it. You keep your differences to yourself. Not over in a Kibalon. Them funerals, folks gonna say how they feel. And when Julius Manina, I always say his name wrong, when he did that speech at her funeral, and he said it, y'all got on your little nice suits, y'all sellouts. Oh man, I kept playing that over and over and over, because how horrible they did her.
Winnie, including the whole soccer team. You know, they all start spying on her and reporting back to white folks. See, a lot of folks know exactly who the sellouts were around her now, and they're being outed.
Yeah, and that's what I've been studying, because anything I find I put up on my channel, because I'm having to read some stuff I did not even know, you know, and it was like, wow, this is deep. This is deep. And you know, I had an opportunity to see Mandela and Winnie in person, and I got a good shot at him. I was astounded how tall Nelson was. He was a really tall man. And Winnie, her face was like flawless. And you would think all that stuff that woman been through. And our father said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure her face is always beautiful, because you could see it in her eyes. But what I learned from studying about both of them is that they know what they did to, I'm just pointing them two out because they did many more. What they did to them, torturing them, beating them, starving, and stuff. And they got,
Winnie said they had hit her so hard in her stomach, when she went to urinate, blood was in her urine. They beat and tortured that woman.
Yeah, they did her really, really bad. And
horrifying when I started finding out what they did to her. And people don't realize Winnie was actually arrested before Mandela. She was already being arrested on numerous things before Mandela even had his first arrest.
I didn't even know that.
But yeah, they were messing with her a lot.
And you know what they she said something. See, she's giving me life. She said something when she spent the one particular time in jail. I think it was like over 400 days. They had did so much to her that she said now she could fight him back.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was nothing else you could do to her. And when people really start to learn the history of it, of what that woman went through, because she kept Mandela's name in lights.
Yes, she did.
And I get a little mad at him, but not 100%, because I know he was he was encapsulated, so he didn't even know what was going on.
He said some disgusting things happened when they were in jail. He said the white prison guards would stand over their cells and pee on them.
Mm-mm-mm.
That's what Mandela said. He said they would just walk up, unzip their pants, and just start peeing on them.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that disgusting?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had beat Winnie. Winnie at one time even had to go exile.
Mm-hmm.
Even had to go exile. I mean, that woman, that you think about her life, she went through so much.
Yeah.
And for her not to sell out and just keep fighting, that right there tells you what kind of spirit she had. And you can tell with Nelson Mandela, you know, I feel you when you say sometimes you're mad at him, but to be honest with you, sis, that was a broken man.
Yeah, I know. I put it back in perspective all the time, because I look at that being taken away from your family for 27 years and what they did to him too. And he was a shell of himself. So I don't hold it over him like that. I'm just glad that he was able to enjoy a little bit of time when he got out. But I was reading,
his wife is a sweetheart. I don't know if you ever listened to.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yes, I like her.
She is she has a beautiful spirit about herself. And at his funeral, actually, all three of his wives were sitting together. His first wife, Winnie, and his last wife. They were all three just sitting together with each other during his funeral.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was reading the other day that they saying that she's been really troubled since Winnie passed. You know, she said that was like losing a sister. But the thing is, I would encourage anybody to take the time and study a little bit about Winnie and Nelson. It just making me dig my heels in further. I have a fighting spirit, but just to hear what they went through, you know, it's like, wow. I can't even imagine what that's like. Everywhere you go, if a cop decides you got to show your ID, you got to show this, that's tiring. You know, they mentally try to do all these different things to break you down. And
that's exactly what's happening here with us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, we can't be left alone no matter what we do. We can be in public and you know, and that just go to show you, no matter what we do, our lives can be gone over a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Your rice playing in the park. So you send your kid to play in the park, you're taking a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Countless people that are just walking along, minding their own business, and then some racist cop decides, well, let me target this nigger and see if I can kill them.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're dealing with.
I so live off the grid now. I go get what I gotta get and come home.
I do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in all honesty, I don't even want to talk to them out in public. I've gotten to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk to these folks. I just want them to leave me alone. I go do what I got to do and go back home.
They dangerous to be around. I keep saying that to folks. Ain't nothing safe around these people. The water ain't safe. The air ain't safe. We ain't safe.
Right.
Nothing is safe. There's nothing is sacred to these people.
And these last few weeks should show you are taking a chance even walking in their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw what happened to those women on that golf course. And you saw the reaction of those white men. Many of them act that way towards us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and calling the cops, they know that's a death sentence for us. Mm-hmm. We can end up beaten up or dead when those cops arrive. And that's exactly what they're trying to do to us when they call the police. Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to get you in a situation where the police can come rushing up and cause harm to you. So it's important that we be really careful out there, watch your back, do what you got to do whatever business transaction you have to do, and get your ass out of there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I now try not to stay in their businesses very long. If I have to go, I try not to stay very long.
That's why I order a lot of stuff online.
Yeah, that's what I think we need to start doing. If they don't want us in their stores, I say fine. Don't go in their damn stores. You know, there's a lot of good Black websites that you can buy hair products from and skin products. You know, you can get shit. You can even grocery shop online. You know, you can do that too. You really do not have to go in their businesses at all if you really want to get it down to a minimum. And I think that's what we're going to have to do if we intend on surviving. Many of us are going to have to consider, like the Queen said, do our shopping online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Because over time, you ain't going to see a lot of Black folks out.
No.
I already see it coming.
Yeah.
More after when I seen that child get slammed across that room by that cop, when all that mess went on a couple of years ago. And I said to myself, I said, Black folks gonna start pulling their kids out of school. Yeah. I can see it clear as day. And stuff, because they kept showing it over and over and over and over. And I had to cut the TV off and stuff. And that's what we need to do. We need to just keep if possible. We're gonna have to get organized, because they are speaking volumes how they feel. And see, when we are out of their way, they still have that thirst for blood. They will kill themselves.
Oh, believe me, when we start shopping more online and staying out of their stores, they're going to notice that. They're going to notice that. And see, right now, they are so blinded by racism. They don't even care about the fact that once we stop frequenting those stores, their asses are going to be out of business.
Yeah, and you know what?
As much as they paid us, they can't live without our dollars.
You know what? Somebody wasn't getting it, and I was trying to tell them this. You had did a video, and you were talking about just in the industry for infants. They was making less diapers, less baby food, and stuff like that. I kid you, it wasn't 90 days, and Toys R Us shut down. And I thought back to that video that you did, and I said, "Oh, this stuff is serious." And then you did a video 2 weeks ago, saying this is them being barren is even going back like in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, they actually start declining after the 50s. It started, the beginning of it started in the 50s.
In the 50s, okay.
And and they have not stopped declining. Every single decade, they decline more and more. You know? And like I said, the Most High is doing what he's supposed to do. Now, all we got to do is make that break and separate, like he told us.
Yeah.
So those of us that make the attempt to separate will survive this. And those that are cooning and trying to be with them and date them and be all around them all the time, those are the ones that they're going to die.
Yes,
and no other way to put it. They are out of here.
And that's the part, that's a disconnect with some of us. Some of us are so busy trying to prove to the beast our goodness, and they don't care.
No, they don't.
That's where you're wasting your energy. That time could be devoted somewhere else.
I have even heard, Queen, I have even heard them say, I would hear Black people in the military say, well, you know, I served in the Army, and they'll say, so. Yeah. And I said, that's okay. Let them say it. Because when the next war break out, we got every right to say, no, we're not going. We don't have to dig back to slavery. We can just hit them in the face with everything they've done over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to go back that far. We can tell them plenty.
Yeah. Well, you don't need us. You don't need us for anything.
Right.
And your promises don't mean shit to me at all. My energy is the kingdom. What the white man talking about don't mean nothing, because he got his own set of problems. I ain't never believed in the white man. Never.
No.
So all we can do is continue to stay the course and stay focused. It is, it's daunting and it's sad what's going on with Bill Cosby, but we have to continue on. And like I said, this is just a battle.
Exactly. And the war is very spiritual. That's really what it is. And I know it seems so crazy right now because we're in this climate, but righteousness will win out. It may not seem like it sometimes, but it really will.
It's really an optical illusion for white people to feel gleeful right now. When they win these little battles and stuff, and then when that die off, what's next?
Right.
So see, they fooling themselves at the end of the day. So yeah, you get a little gleeful or a little high. Now what?
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. So it's just temporary for them. They still got some stuff that they have to deal with that they refuse to deal with. They want to keep focusing on us, and they need to continue to focus on us, because the more that they focus on us, the more of their shit is falling apart. Their infrastructure is falling apart. Look at their leadership.
Yeah.
White people are not the end all be all.
They're not good leaders at all, but they have duped many into making us believe they are. If we're not in charge, the whole world goes to hell. That's not true. That's not true. It ain't even close to being true.
Think about what they did in the 1920s, just on the stock market, jumping out of windows, killing themselves.
Listen, a lot of people don't know during Black Wall Street, white people were taking loans out with Black folks.
I'm not surprised.
Because we had the money. They didn't. They went through that depression eating dirt sandwiches. Black people had Black Wall Street. Do you know they were making loans with Black people? And they don't ever talk about that. They never talk about that. They had to take loans out from Black people because Black people had the money.
Wow.
But they're sitting in our faces talking about we can't run things. Get real. We were running things before this cave beast ever showed up, was even a thought. Okay.
6,000 years is over. So it's all an optical illusion.
Yeah.
So I see what their strategy is. They're going to have these little mini battles because they think that that's going to break us down mentally. We done made it over here. We done been through hell and back, Jim Crow, and God knows what. We're gonna make it to the kingdom. I have total faith in our Father, but not in man. I'm just focusing on that.
We will. We will make it. It's going. Remember, some of us are going to go into the kingdom in duress. That means we are going to be worn down to the end.
To the nub.
Drag us across that finish line. So that's all we have to focus on.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be reading people's comments and they'd be like, I just want it to end now. I'm done.
We are all, but you know what? He said we were going to be like that. And remember, he's even speeding up the days. You ever get up in the morning and it was like, what happened to the day? It's over already. He's even going to speed the days up, so to get out of here sooner. So yeah, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know it seems like it's not, and we are just sometimes we are some weary ass people because we just been through so much.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to keep that word out again. That is just a battle. It's an optical illusion because at the end, they're fooling themselves. Even though they want to project that negativity on us, it's like you putting up this optical illusion.
Exactly.
And everything else around you is just a hot mess.
You just made me think of another thing. Do you know, since they put out that BIE stuff, you notice we have seen back-to-back male mass shooters?
Yes.
Everything they try to put on us will turn around right back on them. In fact, when they came out with BIE, that was when the Vegas shooting happened. And from that point on, we have seen nothing but white male after white male after white male whip out the guns and just killing their own people.
We in the month of April. It's been a lot happening. It looked like the whole year that went by already. Just all the destruction.
And just remember, the Most High said 400 years, and He means that 400 years. It will not be a second longer.
Wow.
400 years, not a second longer. And, you know, He loves us. You know, that's one thing we have to know. Do you know He said He loves His daughters, us, the daughters of Zion, so much that He never wants our feet to touch the ground.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know, and He loves us. He's going to come back for us. You just got to understand these are generational things that we are going through, but we're at the very end. And the beautiful part is, He said His people will never be slaves again. This is our very last captivity. It is never going to happen again.
Yes.
This is it. That's why the people that don't make it got to all be killed off, because there will be no more slaving Black people.
Lisa,
it will never happen.
Did you get to see the video that I did about the sun is black?
Yes.
That was profound to me. I had to go study that. I had never heard of such a thing.
But you know what, sis, the whole universe is melanated.
Yes, that's true. And so when I was speaking, I was just speaking from emotions on that video. And I was cracking up in my head because I was like, the sun is a weapon. It's tanning white folks up. They can't and it's black. The sun is black. Oh, I love that. Oh, that gave me joy.
No, they don't belong. That's why they burn up in the sun. That's why I do those sunburn videos, just to show you these entities that we are around. They don't belong here. They don't belong here. That's why the sun it's nourishment for us. It's nourishment for the trees and all the plants, the animals, all get benefit from the sun. They're the only ones on this planet that get no benefit from the sun. What does that tell you?
I know, because when I go out for my daily walks, I'll just sit in it and soak it up. And oh, it feels good. It rejuvenates me.
It's a beautiful thing. I love the warmth from the sun.
I don't put on no block, as yellow as I am.
King Solomon was a sun gazer. He used to stand and gaze right into the sun. And he said that was part of the reason why he had so much wisdom.
Yeah.
He gazed right into the sun.
The sun is black. Oh, that was fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, those things are fascinating. But you know, it tells you this was very much a black planet.
Yes.
And we're going to go right back to that. I mean, they're not going to survive long enough to keep themselves here. You know, we already see they are going fast. The Most High is not playing. And see, the wars are going to be the thing that really wipe them out. Because, you know, He said we're going to have wars and rumors of wars. And remember, they're going to go off to war and hardly no one's going to come back. And see, that's another reason why you got to keep yourself away from wars. If they're going to say they're going to lock you up for not going, then let them lock you up, but don't go. Because it's already prophesied, those that go to war, you won't be coming back.
Wow.
The enemy will not be coming back. There's going to be a lot of single white mothers walking around here with no husband. They're going to be just like we are. You're going to see a lot of them walking around as single mothers. You know, everything you see on us you're going to see them in that state.
Boy, they ain't going to hold up. They're going to fall.
They are. They are. They are. So just stay away from their mess. We never started one war on this planet. So there's no need in us to be in the middle of it fighting. It's not our fight.
No. I see some white folks acting belligerent. I get up out of there. They get to cussing and screaming. It's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Stay out of their faces.
Out of their mess.
And that's not to say to live in fear or anything. You're just being practical, you know?
Right. Right. And that's exactly right. You know, everything's declining for them, even marriages. I was reading how many of them are mad at the millennials because they're not having babies and they're not getting married. They're choosing to stay single. And this is the biggest generation in history that ever stayed single and without children, the millennials.
My oldest son was telling me that he was talking to a couple of them white boys in college. And one white guy was telling him he got some white friends that's really wealthy, and said that they don't even want to hook up with them wealthy white girls. They be trying to get them trapped, and you know, they want them in their families and stuff because, you know, because of just the names,
right?
Bringing families together. They ain't willing to do that anymore. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be bothered with
the white woman like they were years ago. That is very true. That is very true.
If you look at some of the biggest whistleblowing cases, it's always a white woman. She's very untrustworthy.
Yep. You know, and if you go online, you can pull up pictures of white billionaires that are now taking second wives as Black women. And you know the number one reason why they're doing that? They said white women are not loyal. No, they won't. Their second wives are all Black women.
That's true. They're not loyal.
He said they are not loyal, and they ain't messing with them no more. They said after their divorce with their white wife, they're now going out and getting the Black women.
They really want them to go back home. When they say make America great again, they want her to go back home, start having babies. They don't want her out there working no more.
Right.
You know? And because they seeing their demise before their eyes. It's too late.
Yeah, you know, at this point, they have declined so much. I was reading that even if they start having babies now for the next 10 years, they would still never catch up to Blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. They would still never catch up because they have fallen so far behind. It's nothing they really can do to bounce back.
Yeah, I was reading an article once. They said like in one day, if 300 white male babies are born, 3,000 white males will die that same day.
Yes.
So you can't, you're right. You can't keep it up.
They can't keep up with the pace. They can't. And these women, they got all kinds of issues. And, you know, there was a saying when I was growing up, it was the fertility clinics are in the white neighborhood and the abortion clinics are in the Black neighborhood.
It's true. Before this house I'm living in now, we lived in another city about a half an hour away. And the neighborhood that we lived in, a very nice residential neighborhood. They had a fertility clinic right up the street. And it was like they took one of those Victorians and refurbished it.
Yes.
It was a fertility clinic. And all I seen was white women going in and out of it, maybe a handful of Asians, but mainly just white women going in and out of the clinic.
Yeah, well, you know, the Asians are also on a decline. I know not North Korea, but South Korea is declining fast too. And see, China done messed up themselves because see, back years ago, they had that one child rule.
I remember that.
And now it's not enough for them to reproduce.
They got a bunch of males.
Yeah, they got a bunch of males and hardly no females.
And then they go into other countries, kidnapping women, forcing them into marriage.
Yep. That's what's going on. And they really messed themselves up.
Yes, they really did.
They did with all that stuff. So, yeah, they had a one-child rule for a couple of decades. And see, now you got, they got all these male Chinese running around and there's hardly no women for them to marry or date in China now. They really messed themselves up. Yeah, you know what they did, Astarte Jones? If the woman found out she was carrying a girl, she went and got an abortion in China. They didn't want girls. They wanted boys because they wanted someone to carry their family name. But how do you want to carry a family name and you have no girls? Yeah, that's what they did. They killed off their girls.
They were doing abortions.
The boys alive. Now you got all these boys. You got all these males and hardly no females.
That was Kay. That was dumb.
Yeah, that shit was dumb.
A bunch of horny males.
Yeah. And yeah, I read about how they're now kidnapping women and threatening women to be with them and all this. There's a lot of madness going on over there in China. It's crazy as hell.
Yeah. Wow. Just reading the comments is hilarious.
Yeah. But see, they're marrying African women. Go look up Chinese men marrying African women. A lot of them are marrying African women, and it's because they can't find women in their own land.
The little Chinese guy.
There's a lot of Chinese men marrying African women now.
Those guys are girly.
Yeah. Yeah. Ain't that crazy? But that's the crazy shit that's going on now.
No way.
Yeah, they are very feminine looking. I can't take that shit, man.
No, me either.
Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much screwed themselves up. So they, you know, when you really think about it, they're pretty much in the same boat as white people. They really are.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, they're all. Japan is really bad. Cheetah Baby just brought up Korea, Japan, and the Philippines, and she's right. They all are on a birth decline there. All of them. And you know, Japan are having them little monsters now because of all that Fukushima stuff.
Oh Lord, you subject. You know my
coming out with 3 heads and all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of madness going on.
My grandfather, he was in the Korean War on my mother's side. And he said because he worked in the medical field, and he said some of them women would give birth to just flesh and hair.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Horrible.
You know, and I saw some of the ones born with no brain. You know how the baby comes out, don't even have a forehead. It has no brain. I've seen some of those in those Japanese women giving birth to that too.
Yeah, I've seen
crazy.
That's some crazy stuff.
But you know, they're another group that's not even admitting that they got a problem. You know, there's nothing you can do about that mess.
We got a truckload of them up here. I went to school with a lot of them and everything. They act like they don't. Yeah, they play that meek role, passive aggressive.
Yeah, well, that's on them. And the way I see it, they all need to get their asses out of here so we can get our planet back. All of them.
Yeah, black folks is tired. Because I be reading comments, people just like, I'm just ready for it to end. It ain't gonna be pretty the way it's gonna end, family.
No, remember, he said we gonna see things we never seen before. They gonna get killed in ways that we never even imagined. That's how bad it's gonna be for them. You know, it said it's gonna be so many bodies in the street. We're gonna be going out and have to step over all kinds of bodies. It's gonna be that bad.
We'll have to start burning them to keep the sanitation.
Well, see, that's not on us. See, those are that's going to be cleaned up by the ones. Remember, they're going to be handmaidens and servants. Only the ones that the Most High selects. Those white folks are going to be handmaidens and servants. They're going to have to go around and clean this world up. He's making them clean it up. They made the mess. They got to clean it up. So all those bodies are on them, on them to clean it up.
The ocean is full of plastic too. Woo!
Yeah. 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 Well, you know, that's going to completely die off. There's no way with all that radiation and all that nuclear stuff in the water. It's no way to keep those animals alive in the water. There's no way you can keep them alive.
Well, it's really bad up here in the Bay, up here at Fisherman Wharf in San Francisco. You see all the seals out of the water, and people will be like, "Oh, look at the seals," thinking that's cute and stuff. And they getting out that water because they telling folks the water bad. When I was a kid,
the water, they can't breathe in it. That's why.
When I was a kid, we go down to Fisherman Wharf. You didn't see no seals?
Yeah.
Seals. They everywhere.
Yeah. And they can't breathe in the water. That's what they're showing you. That's why they're getting out of that water. They're having a problem breathing in it.
Yeah, when Kay, she came because Kay came up here and spent a week with me. She said it smelled like death in the bay. You know, I said, dang, I can't even smell it no more.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they literally ruined the entire world's ocean.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. You kill an ocean. I can't get past that.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. That and see, but that lets you know how depraved the enemy is. See, when they didn't ran out of all options, they don't care if they poison the water. They
Right.
don't care if the air is bad. That's letting you know he wants you to go where he wants you to go. No, that's
Yeah.
how messed up they is. When they talk about, even though technically they don't have it right there in front of them, about hitting that red button. Now, Trump, if that button was right there in front of him, he would have hit it a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That man don't care, you know. And plus, they think they're going to survive in those underground bunkers, but he already prophesied those people are going to die first.
No, they're gonna think, you know what they think they're gonna do is go down to those underground bunkers, have their little champagne and caviar, and while doom and gloom is going on up above them, they'll just wait a day or so or whatever they think in their mind and stuff. And I was thinking, I said it to my husband. I said, that's the first place.
You might as well say it's their grave, Queen. Mm-hmm. That's their grave. They done dug out those bunkers. They done dug out their graves.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what they've done.
I seen a documentary on it. They had caviar stored away, champagne.
Oh, yeah, they said they got, in some locations, they got whole cities under there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they got whole cities down there underground that they intend on staying in. And I think they have like a few years supply of food and everything down there. It ain't going to save them.
No.
It's not going to save them.
Don't you go down there with them. See, I got to do another video on the cave and the coons.
Yeah, right?
Don't be following no white folks. You better go to the mountains.
Find your way out of all the madness. But, you know, the bottom line is, no, it's very critical that you don't follow the things that they do.
Yeah.
Don't follow it.
Yeah, on a serious note.
My father used to tell me, whatever they tell you to do the opposite. That's probably right. He couldn't stand. My father couldn't stand white folks. Man, he hated them. He couldn't stand their asses.
Sound like me. I don't even want them in my house.
My grandmother didn't allow that. This is so funny. When we were children, my grandmother, and it's because one of my uncles was taken and beaten by the Klan. And what they did was, my cousins were in the house. I wasn't there. And the Klan came and kicked in the door, and they were looking for my grandfather. That's who they really wanted. My grandfather beat up some white guy. And since he wasn't there, they snatched my uncle and took him in the woods and beat him so bad. He had all kinds of neurological problems for the rest of his life. And he talked real slow and slurred. After that happened, my grandmother would not let white folks in her house. White folks were not allowed to come. They can come to the door. She'll talk to them at the door, but she never invited them in. And this one summer, I was there with her and one of my other cousins. We were staying there for the summer. Did you know my cousin let a white man in, the insurance man that was coming to collect some money? She let him in. My grandmother beat her.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Letting that white man in the house. She beat the hell out of my cousin. I didn't let him in. I was a guest at the house. I felt like it was not my place to let him in. So I didn't. So I went to get my grandmother. And when we came back up, she had already let him in. Oh, my grandmother was fuming. Oh my God. She wore my cousin out for that.
That's sad. They make me think of our ancestors, no telling what they've been through with the beast. Where they could just kick in the door and just violate you.
Yeah, well, that's what they did. They come looking for my grandfather, and my grandmother, they had threatened her, but they didn't, they didn't do anything, but they did threaten to kill her. And my grandfather had to be in hiding. People in the town had to hide my grandfather so they didn't get him. So my father had left, and I was asking my mom because we were living in the city of Philadelphia at that time. And I said, "Where's Daddy? I haven't seen Daddy in a few days." And she was like, "Oh, he had to go somewhere. He'll be back." And then later on that night, my mom was on the phone screaming at him because she wanted him to come back. She didn't want him down there around the Klan.
Oh, wow.
Everything. But my father had to get my grandfather. They finally caught up to him and put him in jail. So my father had to go down there, and the only way they let him go, he had to promise to get him out of town, and he had to give them money. So my father did those two things, and he relocated them about 2 towns over from where the incident happened. It actually made big news down there too. It made big news in the South. My grandfather, and what had happened was he was a sharecropper. And when he was out working, the owner of the land, his son he was an alcoholic, and he would get drunk and go out in the fields and start hitting and calling them monkeys and all kinds of stuff when they were out there doing their jobs. And my grandfather got tired of it one day, and he just went off and beat the hell out of this guy.
He needed it.
Yeah. And he was jailed, and my father had to go down there and get him. And my mom was so upset. She just didn't want him around the Klan. Because she was like, "Look, she said, I want you to get out of there and come home." And my father was like, "I can't come home now. I got to get my father." And I'm glad he made it out and was able to come back home. That was really scary.
Wow.
That was a scary situation. And those people, he lived in a town called Ocilla, Georgia. Ocilla is still very segregated. The town never integrated at all. Blacks are still on one side, whites are still on the other. They do not mingle at all. It's still one of those very racist towns down there.
Yeah, they still got towns like that down there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
No, I know, because my family on my mother's side come from the South, and my grandfather would be driving through them backwoods. I don't know how he knew how to get to some of them.
My father knew how to get through those back roads too.
I remember when I was a kid, we went to some place. I know we were somewhere in Texas. We went to a juke joint, and the kids partied with the adults. I'll never forget that. I was at a club with the kids in one room, and the other folks was in the other room. And I'm a city kid growing up here in the Bay Area, and I'm like, "Am I supposed to be doing this?" But that's how they did it. They partied with their kids. They didn't play that.
Passed through Ocilla 3 days ago. Yeah, that's where my father was from. Do you know they had a big population of Cherokee Indian down there. If you saw my grandfather, he was a black man. But if I showed you a picture of him and you did not know that he was black, everybody thought he was a native Indian. He had the whole appearance of a native Indian man, had the long hair and everything, but he was a full black man.
My grandmother
all thought he was Cherokee.
My grandmother on my mother's side, she passed like what? It's been like 7 years ago now. And her hair was straight white, caramel color skin, but the high cheekbones and everything. And you be thinking you looking at an ancient Indian.
Yeah.
And that was my grandmother. And you know what? She had no other family, only but what she would tell us. She was born on a reservation. She had no birth certificate or anything. We didn't even know how old she was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's why a lot of people think that I took after my father's side because, see, my grandmother and all of her sisters had long hair. You know, they were Black women with natural long hair. And they all thought, "Oh, well, you took after them." And I was like, you know what? That's like a dime a dozen in my family. That's really nothing to look at. You know, and that's why I get a little upset when I hear about people teasing Black women about weaves. Do you know how many natural long-haired Black women are out here? Lots of them.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of them. You know, it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It makes, it kind of upsets me that gets overlooked, but I know these things are being done deliberately.
Yeah, they go in those pyramids. They have found wigs.
Yes.
All of that's there.
And all of those wigs were made out of natural human hair. They didn't have no synthetic hair back then.
Mm-hmm.
That was all made out of real human hair.
This ain't nothing new.
Exactly.
I never trip off of people's hair. However you want to wear it, that's how you wear it.
My father didn't do that with my mom. If my mom didn't feel like doing her hair and she slapped a wig on, he ain't never say a word. He didn't care about that kind of stuff. He didn't care.
There you got people making videos devoted to that mess.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I never saw my dad make a fuss over my mom putting a wig on every now and then. She didn't wear them all the time, but periodically she would put one on. He never said nothing about it. I just don't get that. I'd never seen that before with the men around me. I never seen that.
Yeah, my husband said when he heard about it, he got 10 years on me. He said, "Oh no, that's some bad territory to get into."
Yeah.
He said, "Oh no, I ain't gonna tell no woman what to do with her hair."
Yeah, and I'm like, I just never seen that. That's why when I saw those kind of things on YouTube, it kind of threw me back. I never seen men react like that.
Me either. I wasn't used to it until I got on social media. I didn't know it was a big deal.
Me either. Oh my God. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, you guys.
I see Willie D got his live stream up going too. Boy, there's a lot of people buzzing about Bill.
Oh yeah.
He done took the whole internet by storm.
I just shifted the energy. Yapo, he's on. I know he's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It is. It's no big deal for me. I never had a problem growing my hair out. That's why I most Black women can. And it just, I don't know. I don't know. There's some crazy shit about hair. Some crazy shit.
I got a lot of hair. And I keep cutting that stuff. I keep cutting it off and cutting it off.
Yeah.
And now my hair is gray. Yeah, I mean, y'all don't get to see me that often.
I don't have that much. And you know why? You know what the doctor told me? He said it's probably because of all the vitamins that I take.
Mm-hmm.
He said I'll get gray, but he said it'll probably be a slow process.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to do that for real.
But I think that's an inherited thing because my father didn't have a lot of gray.
Yeah, it depends on different families too.
He didn't have a lot, and that's one thing I did notice about him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the live stream short. It was a pleasure doing this with you, and we definitely are gonna do this again.
Oh yes, yes, yes. May I at least pray before we get off of this?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Father God, I thank you for your mercy and I thank you for your grace. And Father God, I pray for the Cosby family. I pray that you are comforting them and protecting them in this war. I pray that Mr. Cosby's health is well. I pray for Mrs. Cosby and their children and their grandchildren too as well. Also, Father God, I pray for the entire royal family that we continue to fight this war sensibly. And also, I pray that many, many souls will go to you and you only and continue to stay God focused. I pray for the sick and I pray for the suffering. And Father God, as I pray these prayers, I pray that my prayers are heartfelt. I pray that my prayers are heard. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Thank you for coming. I'm going to try to jump on some of these other live streams that are going on out here and hear what they have to say. But y'all take care and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, you too, Queen.